Howdy guys, and welcome back to another Chronicle character analysis video. Today we have the lovely Richard. This was requested by another user, and I figured I would finally go ahead and do it. So let's check out Richard. Richard is one of the two, I guess, more tanky types in the game. I'm not necessarily saying that he is a tank, but his skills are the most tankiest out of all of them besides Marcon. Don't get me wrong, others can tank as well, but he has just a, I would say, traditional type tanking skills. But his ultimate skill is Holy Protection. He uses his Scarred, I'm assuming Sacred Power, to enhance himself and surrounding allies and damage nearby enemies. So he gets invincible for 3 seconds, which is very, very important. Everyone's defense goes up. It looks like, yeah, the more it levels up, the more everyone's defense goes up for 5 seconds, which is great. It damages the enemy as well, and not to mention it lowers their defense for 5 seconds as well. So he goes invincible for 3 seconds, which can be very, very useful. Everyone gets a defense up buff, and then the enemy also gets a defense debuff, which is phenomenal. For 5 seconds, I mean, you can't beat that on a tank type. His first skill is Holy Ghost Light, releases the holy light from his shield, inflicting damage, and it blinds the enemy for 3 seconds. So I'm assuming it just makes it to where the enemy can actually miss. So you might mitigate some minor damage here and there if the blind takes effect and they can't get that hit off, which again is great for a character that is made to take hits. And then Spinning Slash swings his shield, inflicting damage. If this skill is used again, he pushes away from enemies and delivers a Spinning Slash. So this sounds like it's a 2-part move. Just basic damage, not too much. It adds marking, and then okay, so whatever it hits with the first part of the move, when he hits with the second part, it adds additional damage by 30% with that, which is pretty nice. I mean, he's not here to do damage really. He's here to survive and dish out a little bit of damage, but you know, it is what it is. His passive just raises his defense and everyone else's defense, which is always great to have. This one just raises his magic defense, his tenacity, and skill damage, defense skill damage. So I'm assuming he takes less skill damage. Okay, that's fine. And then the second one is physical defense, HP, and critical resist. So essentially everything important. He kind of buffs himself up with his passive. So staying really, really true to just the tank type. Let's check out his traits real quick. His first trait, every 40 seconds, hero with the lowest HP gets a 20% HP recovery. That is disgusting. 20%, you know, that's obviously 1/5 of their HP. That is absolutely disgusting. And then hero with the lowest HP also gets a 20% buff. Yeah, they also get a 20% buff for 8 seconds, which again, every 40 seconds doesn't mean that it's just technically reliable, but if you're in a pinch and one of your DPS is about to die, or like Lee or one of your supporters is about to die, in theory this could definitely help you turn the tables and, you know, get out of that tight situation. So that is very, very interesting. I wouldn't figured he have a trait like that. 20% is a lot. And then this one has a 9-second cooldown, and if attacked, every 100 fury he gets a barrier, and his defense goes up by 20% as well for 8 seconds. It only has a 9-second cooldown, so in theory this pretty much has like a 1-second cooldown, so he should have pretty much a barrier up all the time, and his defense should be increased by around 20% pretty much all the time. Not all the time, but pretty much all the time. So definitely interesting, definitely interesting. He seems a lot more interesting than I originally had anticipated, but let's see how he fares out in the battlefield. Alright, my man Richard. Okay, so just his regular attack, nothing too fancy. This is his ult. So now he's invincible for 3 seconds. They can't do nothing to me. 1 shot, 2 shots. Had to mix McQueen with the blue dot. Okay, his first skill is the shield, so he just busts out a ray of light, and that can blind enemies for 3 seconds, as we had read before. And then his second skill, it applies the marking debuff in the first hit, but the second hit must connect in order for us to get that benefit for the damage. And then all defense increased. Was that from, what was that from? I think that was from his passive. So that helps him kind of keep into the fight, I would say. If you could dash in, well, hit the enemy and then dash in, that helps Richard to stay in a fight. And this is, I think, is more for utility. So once you can dash in, go ahead and hit him with that marking with the first part of the move. Dash in, do the fancy little spin. Well, not do the shield and then the fancy little spin. And then we can get this off just to blind them, which you can see with that little eye. They were blinded. And of course, pop that ult. And, you know, they get that defense debuff, which is always great. And that's pretty much Richard. As you guys can see, Richard is not very flashy at all. His moves are just there for his survivability and helping the squad out. But he definitely seems promising. In terms of flashiness, he definitely isn't my favorite. While his armor looks cool, his skills aren't really aesthetic, as I would say. But that's pretty much Richard. So remember, his goal is to basically stay alive, mitigate damage, have him do the shield break move, spin through them to kind of draw their attention out, blind them, and then pop that ult, and that's pretty much Richard. So I definitely hope this video helps. If you guys use Richard, feel free to leave a comment below just explaining how you use him or where you use him at, or if you found him helpful or not. He is more of a regular kind of traditional tank. Not saying that other warriors aren't, but he is more, as we have just seen, like a regular tank. I am building him up, but he's kind of on my second team right now. But that's pretty much it, you guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the Discord and the subreddit, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.